Hello, Cohort 3 members. Vivian and I wanted to take you through some critical processes that will take place regarding action plans, action plan requests, and engagement scholarships. Please pay close attention to the content tonight and rewatch this recording later if needed. This recording will also be emailed out to you following this meeting. As a reminder, please continue to keep your participation tracker up to date. We will be processing participation scholarships beginning July 1st, so please make sure to have it fully updated by June 30th. As you recall, to be eligible for the $1,000 engagement scholarship, you will need to have attended or participated in at least 14 out of the 18 national synchronous sessions, which are notated in red on your tracker, and at least 4 of the live or in-person Nevada Context meetings, which are notated in blue on your tracker. Note at this time, there are still multiple opportunities for you to engage in both red and blue events if you need additional engagement to meet the minimum requirements. Next slide. In order to receive your $1,000 engagement scholarship, you will need to fill out the following scholarship form, which is located in your Google Drive folder. We have highlighted the areas for you to fill out. Electronic signatures are acceptable. You can even type your name in cursive font, and that will be acceptable as well. Please do not email this form to us, just leave it in your folder for us to review. Additionally, each of you are eligible to apply for action plan funding up to $3,000. We'll be covering more on that later, but please note that this is also included on this form. So one form for engagement scholarship funding as well as your action plan funding. Please note, do not fill out any prices or dollar amounts in this form. NDE will be doing that on our end after we review your action plan and your participation grid. Next slide. Vivian's going to be taking us through a few other critical components to this process, which include a timeline for the action plan as well as a budget.
Thanks, Kelly. So I'm going to go over some required components for your action plan. First, I want to draw your attention to the P-3 action plan budget template. The template will help you plan out and communicate to the Department of Education how you plan to use your funds to complete your action project. At the top of the form, there's a slot for your name, the date of submission, and a link to frequently asked questions. Under these categories, you will find cells for the materials you plan on using to complete your action project. These materials can be things like binders, books, and printing. This funding is not allowable for covering food. For a complete list of what criteria must be met for funding, please refer to the Code of Federal Regulation that can be found in the FAQ for action plan funding. Personnel and their time is also covered under your requested funds, as are participant incentives. For example, some gift cards. There's also a space for other items that might not fit into the previous categories. Please make sure these other items are allowable expenses under the Code of Federal Regulation. As you type your dollar amounts into the form, it'll auto-populate. And I'll show you an example of what that is. So here you can see a budget form that has been completed. As you type in the costs for each of your materials, the form will auto-populate the total and give you a grand total at the bottom. For your action plan timeline, you will have 2 pages. In your personal folder, you can find this timeline template for your action plan. If you're working in a group, your group will only need 1 copy of your timeline completed. Once action plan groups are identified, we can make 1 folder for the group where you can find the documents that will be required for your entire group. You're working independently, all these documents will be in your personal Google folder. Using this template, You and your group, if you decide to work with a fellow cohort member, will plan out the different phases and milestones of your project. As you can see, there are dates listed at the top. There are also phases listed on the side and milestones that you can add in. Everything is editable, so you can add what you need and delete what you don't need. You'll want to add descriptions of different milestones in your project. For example, you can describe what will happen for milestone 1. Obtain funding. Milestone 2 might look a little bit different. Seek participants. You can make changes as the dates go on and through the different phases. And there's also a second page if you need a longer time. For my last point, I want to draw your attention to the templates that the P3 National Center has provided for you to complete your action plan project. Using the link that Dr. Cowers has provided, and we can email to you as well, you can go through the different efforts of the P3 action plan projects. You can explore the different efforts found on the left side tab. Look at the guiding questions and collaborations, justifying your approach, and other suggested P3 strategies. Towards the bottom of the web page, you can find the template for each effort and how to submit your action plan. Please note that you must label your action plan PowerPoint in the following way, as I've highlighted here below. If you click on the link, it'll open to the PowerPoint for each action plan effort that you can use for your action plan project. If you have any questions on how to access these forms or fill them out, please let one of the facilitators know or review the frequently asked questions that will be provided for you to review.
Perfect. Thank you, Vivian.
Back to you.
So now I'm going to take you through due dates and timeline now that we've explored all of those forms and talked a little bit about the processes. In an effort to streamline our processes this year, we've decided to have all items due to NDE in alignment with the date that your action plan PowerPoint is due to the National P3 Center, and that date is June 30th. So here on this timeline, you'll see what is due and to whom and when it's due, with all due dates being June 30th. If you're planning on applying for graduate credit, you do need to do the action plan PowerPoint and submit it to the National P3 Center. And traditionally, there is also a reflective paper assigned from the National P3 Center that you would do and turn into them. So here at NDE, we're asking for a copy of that action plan PowerPoint. You're just going to drop it in your Google folder. So no need to change anything about it. Just put it in the Google folder for us to see. We'll need a budget template that Vivian covered. Fill it out, leave it in your folder. That timeline that Vivian showed us, will be in your folder. And then we need you to sign that scholarship form, one form for the engagement and the action plan funding. So all of those due June 30th, which gives you a lot of time to work on it, as well as after the school year ends a little bit. Next slide. We recognize that some of you may want to only do certain things or may have the capacity to only do certain things. So this is a quick slide that shows you, what if I only want the engagement scholarship? What do I need to do? You need to fill out the scholarship form. What if I only want graduate credit? What do I need to do? You need to do your action plan PowerPoint and your reflective paper and turn it into the National P-3 Center. What if I only want action plan funding? Those are the documents that we need for action plan funding, which are the complete 4 documents that we covered today. Next slide. The last thing in this video will cover a request to work together. So you're welcome to work by yourself on action plan, and that folder is ready to go for you right now. If you would like to partner with someone in this cohort or a team of people, please let me know by email as soon as possible, or whenever really. And I will make a special folder for you, your team. And this is because we need a scholarship form from each of you, but we only need 1 budget form for your whole group. And we only need 1 timeline for your whole group. And we only need 1 copy of your PowerPoint, which you all would submit 1 copy of and work on together. Give that to the P3 Center, give us a copy of it. And then please note that if you do choose to work with someone, you get that proportion amount for your action plan funding. So 2 people together would qualify for up to $6,000 for that 1 action plan. 3 people together, $9,000. So please let us know if you have questions. And then next live, Vivian will be covering some frequently asked questions that were derived from some of your comments at our in-person meeting, as well as frequently asked questions around these processes from last cohort.